The night was heavy, swollen with clouds that clung to the city like a suffocating veil. No wind, no sound. Only silence so deep it felt like even the stars refused to breathe. Somewhere within that silence, a woman began counting the ruins of her past. Her name was Alina. Once she had laughter in her veins, sunlight in her eyes, and dreams that fluttered like white doves. But betrayal is a storm that doesn't just destroy a home. It burns the heart that built it. That night, Alina's story of love and revenge began. Alina was an ordinary girl, quiet, kind, and full of belief in the good within people. Her parents raised her on trust and tenderness. She believed love was the safest shelter, that truth could never turn against her. Then she met Riyadh. Charming, magnetic, dangerously confident. He was the kind of man who could light up a room with a grin, whose words carried the rhythm of poetry and poison in equal measure. At university, their paths crossed, and soon love bloomed. Or what she thought was love. Riyadh whispered dreams into her ears, of a small house by a river, 2 children, lazy afternoons, and eternal happiness. Alina believed him. She built her future around his words, like a fragile glass palace. They married. For the first few years, everything seemed perfect. Riyadh laughed, Alina smiled, and the world spun gently in rhythm with their love. But perfection doesn't last. Slowly, Riyadh changed. His warmth faded, replaced by cold silences and careless words. He didn't hit her, not physically, but his tone bruised her spirit. His indifference sliced deeper than violence ever could. Then came the lies. Small at first. Hidden money, late nights, false stories. Then the betrayal grew heavier. One day, Alina discovered that Riyadh had forged documents in her father's company, stealing money and destroying her family's financial foundation. Within months, her father's health crumbled, the business collapsed, and their home turned into a battlefield of debt and shame. And Riyadh. He walked away from the wreckage with the same cold smile. When Alina finally uncovered his affair with another woman, something inside her shattered. Not her heart that had already broken, but something deeper. Something that once made her kind. She cried, yes. But grief soon turned to steel. She decided she would destroy him. Not in anger, but in perfect, deliberate precision. Revenge doesn't come like a flame. Comes like winter, slow, patient, biting. Alina became something new. A woman reborn not in love, but in calculation. She learned, watched, and waited. She studied Riyadh's business. Every loophole, every forged paper, every corrupt partner he ever touched. While he slept beside another woman, she was building an invisible trap around him. Step by step, she crafted a masterpiece of destruction. Her first strike was subtle. A few altered numbers in his bank accounts. Nothing major. Just enough to create confusion. Then she began feeding small pieces of misinformation to his business partners, gently poisoning their trust. Within months, the perfect empire Riyadh had built began to crumble. Banks froze his accounts. Investors pulled out. Contracts vanished like mist in the morning sun. Riyadh panicked. He blamed employees, friends, fate, but never guessed that his own wife had become the storm beneath his feet. The day Riyadh's company finally crashed, the city talked. News headlines screamed of fraud, corruption, and scandal. Alina watched the chaos unfold from her living room. Calm, silent, almost serene. Riyadh's face appeared on television screens. His once arrogant eyes filled with disbelief. Police came. Papers were seized. And the man who once thought himself untouchable finally fell. But Alina didn't celebrate. Her revenge wasn't sweet, it was empty. Because when you destroy the monster you once loved, you also kill the part of yourself that loved him. Still, she didn't stop. Riyadh's closest allies, the people who had mocked her pain, were also targeted. She revealed their hidden crimes, their black money, their deals. One by one they fell too. The city called it karma. Alina called it justice. Months passed. Riyadh was arrested. Alina stood by the window of her small apartment, watching the rain fall, and whispered, "It's over." But it wasn't. Revenge had taken everything from her. Her peace, her friends, her smile. Her mother, once proud and loving, now looked at her daughter with a quiet sadness. "You've changed," she said softly. Alina didn't deny it. She had. She wasn't the same woman anymore. She was sharper, colder, lonelier. Then came the shock. Riyadh was released. A powerful lawyer, a few legal loopholes, and the same corrupt system that had once helped him climb now helped him escape. He returned to the city, bold and unbroken, starting a new business under a new name. People welcomed him again, as if his crimes never existed. And for the first time, Alina realized the truth. Revenge doesn't always bring justice. One evening, in the middle of a crowded park, she saw him. Riyadh. Older, thinner, eyes still dark with arrogance but touched with something else. Maybe regret. They stood face to face after years of silence. The world around them blurred into nothing. "Do you want to know why I did what I did?" Riyadh asked, voice low and trembling. Alina said nothing. "I was afraid," he continued. "Afraid of failure. Afraid of losing everything. I didn't know how to love you the way you deserved." Tears stung her eyes, but not out of pity, out of anger. "Fear doesn't destroy people," she whispered. "Cowardice does. And you destroyed everything good we had." He looked down, unable to meet her gaze. For a moment, they were just two broken souls, staring into the mirror of their shared mistakes. "Have you finished your revenge?" he asked finally. "Yes," Alina said. "But it didn't give me peace. It gave me emptiness." Riyadh's lips trembled. "I'm sorry. But apologies can't heal a wound that's already scarred." After that night, Alina never saw Riyadh again. Instead of trying to hurt him more, she turned her pain into purpose. She started a foundation, helping women who had been betrayed, abused, or financially trapped. Her story became their shield. She spoke at seminars, on television, at small workshops. Not about vengeance but about healing. Her message was simple. The real revenge is not destroying your enemy. It's rebuilding yourself so powerfully that no one can break you again. People listened. They learned. And Alina began to feel alive again. Not as a victim, not as an avenger, but as a survivor. Years later, Alina's mother fell ill. On her deathbed, she held Alina's hand and said, "You fought your battles. I'm proud of you." Those words broke Alina's heart, not from sorrow but from peace. Her mother died that night, and Alina realized something profound. Forgiveness is the final form of revenge. You forgive not because they deserve it but because you deserve freedom. Time passed. Alina grew older. Her story became a book. Scars and torn verses. It was raw, painful, honest. Readers cried, learned, and healed through her words. Even Riyadh's name remained hidden. She didn't need to expose him anymore. His punishment was simple. He had to live every day knowing what he'd lost. One evening, Alina sat by her window, watching the sunset paint the world gold and red. Children played outside, laughing freely. And she smiled. She whispered to herself, "Maybe I didn't win, but I survived. And that's enough."